All right, here we go. July 12th. Dead heat of summer here.
Hey,
Here it is.
so do you want to start discussion, or can I just start my question?
No, you can hop right in if you got a question. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I got your email this morning saying, here's what I came up with, addressed to Michelle, copyright to me, but I don't see anything there. It just says, here's what I come up with. That's it.
Oh, there should be an attachment to it.
I went down to the bottom, and the attachment that I have is my stuff that I sent you. There's a thing called download all attachments. That's a zip file.
Okay.
But above it is where it says, yeah, I got that, and then that's it was nothing. And I click on the little icon, the paperclip, and it just takes me to the stuff that I originally sent you.
Okay, it should have one more on there.
Oh, website evaluation MPP4.
Yep, that's the one. It's mixed in with all those because I wanted to make sure that she got all of your stuff too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna you go ahead, and I'm gonna view that while you go and start with Gary.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Mr. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, got a question for you, John. I'm working on the perfect sales sequence.
Okay, awesome.
And getting in the first part, so the big idea, or that would that be, you consider that to be the main headline, or have 3 or so questions ahead of that, and then state the.
Well, the big idea, the way it works, the way the pieces unfold, is the big idea is really out in front. That's how you get them to your sales sequence.
Okay.
So a lot of times the big idea will kind of flow through your whole sales sequence as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be the headline, but it doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah, I think I came up with a better one.
Okay, yeah, no, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfectly fine. So remember the big idea, the whole purpose of the big idea is to have a common thread throughout the whole marketing campaign. And it's kind of like it's your attention grabber on the front to grab them and shake them and say, hey, come check this out.
Right.
It's kind of like your carnival clown on the front.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, although your stuff should fall in line with that, it should follow that sequence. Like in my case, up front, I've got the whole Elvis shift.
Right.
So throughout my sales sequence, throughout my webinars, throughout everything, I'm making reference to that.
Yeah, and I can do that. One of the questions I have makes references to the reverse funnel.
Okay.
So I think that'll work.
I just saw, it's interesting, we've been kind of kicking that idea around here for the last month or so. And I just saw one of the big marketers talk about reverse. He didn't say it the way we did, but basically, a new, different way, a different spin on the sales funnel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to send out to you what I've come up with so far. So by the end of the day today, I'll have something for you to.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Michelle there, she's well on her way too. She's got her page up and it looked great. Just a few little tweaks I've got for her, but yeah, it's really cool when you get on the front end, when you get your big idea, and that's the common thread through your campaign. You see how everything just gels and it all comes together. It just makes everything smooth and it goes from beginning to end.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That was my question.
Okay, cool. So just as a wrap up there for everybody, your big idea is it's your attention grabber on the front, and that's its whole purpose. So it does not have to necessarily become your headline in your sales sequence when you start doing your webinar or whatever. It can, but it doesn't have to. But it is the common thread. It's that idea that you kind of strew throughout. If you make reference in your big idea to wizardry, then you want to make references to wizardry type stuff throughout your whole campaign. Same thing like me. I made reference to Elvis in my big idea, so I'm bringing in Elvis related stuff through my whole campaign. So pretty cool stuff. All right, who's up next with a question here?
I'm ready for my follow-up from.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so on my card it says Gregory Santana, and then below it says web evaluation. And the thing is, at the 2 meetings ago, and I think last week, it was last week, and I actually watched that whole video all over again. The conference call from last Thursday, so it was twice. You said something there that it might be better to say something to the effect of optimize your SEO or something. So on my card it says web evaluation. We discussed that, and you said that it wasn't sexy enough, it wasn't attractive enough. And so you have to, it starts to question what is it, which means therefore now you have to go into explanations, and by that time the fire's gone.
Yeah.
So
what I did with the 3 major questions, the 3 big questions in there, I put that as though it is SEO, but it's not saying SEO for anybody that has a bad taste about SEO.
Right.
Like asking them the question, I'm asking them kind of a really painful question there. Is Google sending your traffic to your competitors?
Right.
Because if that resonates with them, that's asking them, is your SEO optimized without saying that.
Right. So the direct question is on my card, which is going to be the image trigger for Revelio. Next is change website evaluation to optimize your traffic, optimize your something, or get away from the word website evaluation and come in with something better.
Yes, yeah. On your lead in, you want something better than website evaluation.
So that's where I'm at. I'm dilemma. Should it just say optimize your traffic, or optimize? I mean, what would be the catchy phrase to put in there? A three word phrase.
Okay, sure.
Product, and I want to represent you the best way I can.
Yeah. So what you want to tie into always in any kind of ad campaign, you want to tie into what's their desired outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So like I opened that thing up with, finding out how much better your business could be. So you probably want to tie it to something related to that.
Okay, so I'll review the video and I'll just pick out something that would be a key, that essentially a reinforcement of the subconscious mind. They see something on my card, and then the video will pick up with something up, one of those 3 questions to go into the video.
Exactly. Or actually, the 3 questions are kind of based around after the fact. So the way I lead them in, so you kind of need a precursor to this.
Right. That's what I'm searching for that subtitle to put on the cards. I want to change the cards today if I can.
Yeah. So
get that image
once they hit that initial thing that's your attention grabber, then they're going to find out how much better their business could be.
So again, the 3 words will say how to make your business better, or
yeah, I would say like, are you struggling with your it's going to be something to do with web. Are you struggling with your web strategies?
Okay.
Or do you know how good your website, or do you know how well your website is working for your business?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that on the front where it's going to grab their attention.
Okay. My mind now. Okay, that's good. So on the back side, I'm going to read the caption for the back side, and then I think we're done. And the back side caption says, "Where is it? Oh, bummer." Okay. I'm going to find it.
There's the common ones like 10x your business, but they're just so worn out.
Right. Well, this is what I have on my backside is what's your ideal life? What do you want from your business? Know your web traffic, your high ROI customer, and conversion rate to achieve your ideal life.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
That little caption works out.
and again, that's kind of like we're hearing everybody say that.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. Let me look. I think I've got a.
Yeah, it'd be off the last email at the bottom, like all those things you collected.
Let's see. I'm just looking through some headlines here that might help you out there.
I mean, like I said, I want to represent you the best way I can, and Reveal will be the great bridge. And Monica, she is so hot for this. She is like, wow, and she's a techie. She works for JPL IT department as a second supervisor, and they got replaced by an overseas company. They farmed it out to an overseas company, and she lost her position. But she's very tech savvy, and she saw this Reveal, and she says, I haven't seen this before. This is so cool. So
here's a cool statement here. You could put, your business will never be the same.
Your business will never be the same.
Yeah, that was what I was looking for.
Thank you. Now, would that be on the front, under my name on the front side, or do I add it to the back, or take something out of the back side and add this in?
Well, this would be like a front end statement.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So another front end statement might be, don't settle for a struggling or average business.
Okay. So how can I make that into a positive statement?
That one.
So
yeah, that's more of a pain statement.
Okay. All right. Right. And then another marketing class, they said that sell 60% pain and 40% relief.
Yeah. That's kind of a Cialdini type thing.
So don't settle for struggling.
Now, if you want a positive statement, you can say, are you ready to feel the pride of a thriving business?
Are you ready to... I'm writing down at the same time. I'm trying to listen to it at the same time. One more time, please. Oh, you know what? I'll listen to the video. I'll listen to the recording.
Okay, well, I can do it again. It's, are you ready to feel the pride of a thriving business?
Okay. Right. Yeah. So I'll go back to the recording and listen to that statement more. Any other changes for the backside before I want to go to Michelle?
No, I don't think so. You just need to kind of figure out what you want to put in on, if you want to put something on the backside.
Well, the backside is what is that statement says, what's your ideal life? What do you want from your business? Know your web traffic and your higher ROI customer conversion rate to achieve your ideal life.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay. So Michelle, question. So you said that imaging would be fine. So all we're going to do for the imaging would be the front side of my card, which I will then send to you after we finish here. Would that be?
That's gonna work, Gregory. I just took a look at it, and but I just as a designer, I'm gonna just mention a few things if it's okay with you.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a chance to change it.
Yeah.
The fonts that you're using on the front are a little bit more techy than the one on the back feels very feminine. I would match your fonts front and back so that you're coming across with the same kind of feel.
All right. So what kind of font do you think that might work?
The one that you have on the front is sufficient.
Okay, then that's what I'll do. Okay, change backside to front font to back font. Okay. And anything else, please?
Well, just make sure, yeah. So to go with the one that is on the front. Whatever you said made me confused. So as long as you're not confused. The second thing that I would recommend, John, and you can pipe in here, is that he's using a Hotmail email address.
Oh yeah, that's not.
That to me, Gregory, as soon as I saw that, no matter what you say, as soon as I see that your email address is a Hotmail, it makes me think that you're not genuine, because it does, or authentic in the sense of business savvy, because most business people are using a URL related email to be taken real seriously. Is there a URL that you own anywhere that you can?
I own, there's 3 of them that was under consideration. One is Invicta.com, which I was gearing toward my trading. There's GregorySantana.com. I got that. That's totally mine. and then we had phototech.com, which is under the family banner.
Well, what about the Gregory Santana one, John? Do you think that would be better? I think anything would be better than Hotmail.
Yeah, I would use the one with your name in it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So,
name recognition. It makes you look like you're a total hot shot.
okay.
It's a good feel.
All right. So my next thing then would be is to get a hold of web.com to activate an email off GregorySantana.com without. I don't have GregorySantana.com website operational.
Yeah, you can just get the email service for it. That's not a problem.
Yeah, and you can feed that into your whatever email server you're using, whether it's Gmail or Outlook.
All right. So my next, John, does Kartra or anything else that I don't have might be under the Limbacher banner to initiate that email, or just go with web.com? What do you think?
Well, if you already have that account set up, you can get it through them.
Yeah.
We do web and mail hosting here as well. If you want to, what you'd have to do for that is you still have to log into that account and point the name servers to us. I'm not sure what they're charging for mail service, but it's usually mail service is pretty inexpensive.
Well, it's not just so much of expense. The point is efficiency. The point is that the internet denominator is the spearhead of the shaft.
Okay.
The point is that we're going into from this point forward, once this whole package is done, is you're the forefront, and then the after point would be the FTC Guardian, and I still have Royal Tie. I still have those buttons, but that's a secondary thing to worry about.
Okay. Well, yeah, it might make sense for you to point it to us, and then we can get it set up for you.
That's what I was thinking, because in this way.
Yeah, because I know how to connect it to the Kartra and all of that stuff. So.
Okay, so then you and I will arrange to set that up. Anything else that I need to get in here? I get off.
No, just kind of back to Michelle's point of, you don't want to jump around with look and feel with all of your pieces. When you start piecing things together, you want to have like a common color scheme, a common font range,
Okay.
even graphics. Like you don't want to make like some of your stuff in cartoon and then some of it real serious and fun. You kind of want a theme. So.
All right. Well, Wednesday's event is a tech conference at City Club.
Okay.
This is phase one. It's the shakedown cruise. Let's go and test the waters, see the reactions, see what we get out of it. I know I have several designers at the club who've been approaching me about my car, like, Greg, we got to talk. But this is just to test the waters on the two main things.
Yeah.
Your product and Michelle's product. Those are the two main objectives. How is this going to be received? Polishing up the business card for later events, like PensionCom in October, and other major events I have throughout the rest of the summer. That's when we're going to start polishing, because Pension Convention is the 5,000 people, and I know I got lots of good traction at the investment conference in Dana Point. So therefore, my objective is to really, be ready. That's the final campaign is our October date. So this is only phase one to get started. All right, then that's it. Cool. I'm pretty much covered for the time being for phase one. Any last comments to me, and then I'm gonna shut up.
No, I think you should be good with that. Michelle will get you all fixed up from here. And
okay. Oh, other thing, you still do, and of course you handle overseas accounts and stuff, because I still have that one person from South Africa who was very much interested in your services as a I'm not sure if you want to do a reseller or a white paper, but.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's not a problem.
All right. And I might be going to Dubai in October, which is to be the second thing. I don't know if you ever met him, but Courtney Smith was part of Peak Potentials, and he did training. So he's now doing trading conferences internationally, and I'm getting invited to shadow him.
Oh, cool.
The whole idea is to reach out to a larger overseas market.
Yeah.
But I think it's time. All right. That's it. Thank you all. I'm going to next.
All right. I had something kind of to share along the SEO lines and kind of Google related. It's not new, but it's kind of new. And I kind of been looking at it, and it's really like, usually when Google goes on the attack, they usually go on the attack for traditional SEO, and this time they're kind of on the attack more on marketers. They're actually attacking the video sales letters, and the way they're doing it, video sales letters, traditionally the way that happened is a video sales letter starts up automatically. Like, you click a link, you go to a video sales letter page, and the video automatically starts up and starts running. You don't have to click anything. Now there's two. I think the biggest reason is user experience. Google has probably identified through their AI that people don't like videos starting without them clicking on it. So they have decided, not only just, from an SEO perspective of ranking, they've decided in their Chrome browser, they're actually going to block that. So for you, when they block that, that's not a good thing. They're basically telling you, hey, you're not playing by our rules, so we're going to step in and, and put a stop to it. So you'll notice that, like, Chrome browsers, your videos they won't work. So that's not good. So what I recommend, and this from an SEO perspective, this is a great thing to do. Like, if you've got a video, let's say you've got a video sales letter page that comes up, and instead of auto playing the video, because a lot of times what people will do, they'll put the autoplay video down below the fold, so it starts playing and you don't even know how to stop it. You've got to scroll and go on an Easter egg hunt to find it. So first of all, your video should be above the fold. If this is a video sales letter, it belongs above the fold. So the other thing is, instead of having it autoplay, you've got the video and you've got the little play button to hit play. So your screen, your display screen on the video has to be engineered to get them to make sure they click it. Your headline and your text around it needs to be engineered to make sure that they click it. Now here's your SEO opportunity. Instead of that being a real video, what you could have that be is a click to open up another window with the video. So it gives you an opportunity to go one step further on clicks. But that's, no matter how you do it, you've got to get them to click on that thing. And your way to do that is your text wrapping around it, and also in your screen image. You get to pick a placeholder image on your video. Whether you're doing this in YouTube or Wistia or Vimeo or in Kartra, it doesn't matter what video service you're using, you get to pick your placeholder, which is your image that sits there and is your static image that represents the video. One of the old SEO tricks was to create those images of something that was really compelling, and it may or may not even be in the video. I mean, I know I've done this many times in YouTube. I'll see an image and I'll go, oh, that's really cool. Like, I've been watching, like, crazy stuff that happens at sea, like cruise ships that take a tidal wave over them and stuff, just as entertainment. It's just kind of fun stuff to see crazy things happen at sea. And I'll click on a video that has an image of something like that happen. I'll watch 5 minutes of the video, and I'll be damned if there's nothing related to that damn image in that video. So it's a total bait and switch. But the point is, it got me to click. It got me to spend 5 minutes watching that video, expecting to see something. I'm not saying that's a good user experience, because at the end I'm pissed off because I didn't get what I wanted. I got bait and switched. So I'm not saying to do that, but I'm just saying engineer your image appropriately, so it inspires them to click. But I do encourage you as marketers, as good human beings, not to do bait and switch crap. Give people what they want. Give them a truly good user experience. But those images are really, really powerful. And, in accordance with, how we do things in the ACT program, relating it to your prospect, figuring out your avatar, what images are going to compel them to click. Know who you're dealing with, know how to do that. So anyway, that's kind of my little new thing I'm always looking at stuff, that's changing and how to keep on top of it and in front of it. And that's one come up here recently that it was brought to my attention. I'm like, okay, yeah, I should definitely address that. All right, anybody else who's got a question here? Go ahead and unmute and hop on out here.
Hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
So what you were just saying, I noticed in Kartra that it gives us the ability to mute but autoplay. So now you're saying Chrome specifically is not even going to let it autoplay if it's a Kartra video?
Chrome does not like autoplay. They especially don't like the audio.
Yeah, well, I know in Kartra I mute it because I hate that. I just decided I was going to mute mine unless they clicked. But would an animated GIF help? I mean,
yes.
If we put a...
Yes, like saying, click here, watch this, get, and relate it to the benefit of what they're going to get when they click it. Because anytime you're asking somebody to do something, believe it or not, that's a sale. You're selling something.
So should I just go through all of my videos in Kartra then and just set them to not autoplay?
Yeah, because here's the problem with autoplay without audio. If your message, 90% of your message is what they're hearing. If they just see it and they don't hear it, it's not going to give them the same experience. And let's say, your video starts playing and they don't have the audio on, and then they click the audio on, they might have missed a key piece of the message in the beginning, and it's like coming into the middle of a conversation.
Yeah, for me, the only reason I autoplay is only one video, and it's just the one demonstrating my product in action. So it doesn't really matter if they hear it. But
okay, if it doesn't matter if they don't hear it, then that's okay. But,
so what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and attempt to swap out the still with an animated GIF and see if Kartra will let me do that.
Yeah, that would be cool. An animated GIF is great. If you can get your placeholder to be that would be really cool.
Okay, cool. And then the other thing I was going to ask you about SEO related is, like, in WordPress, I know that you could add a featured image to the metadata, description that gets populated when you share a URL on social media and whatnot. But I'm not able to find where I can add an image to the metadata in Kartra. So right now, when people are sharing my link to the new Kartra website, it's only showing up the description metadata, not the actual image. There's no place for me to load an image.
Okay, so what those are tags. So those would be like tags that go into the head tag of your website. So in Kartra, you want to find the place where you can add head tags. And
then how do I, because I'm not a coder, so how do I get an image to show up?
There's a whole bunch of different tags related to that.
And where do I go in Kartra, do you know, to learn how to code it right?
You're not really going to learn that in Kartra. In Kartra, you're just going to find the place to put it. Like there's image tags and stuff.
Can you help me with this before I head out? Because this is frustrating me, because my product is so unique and different that people don't get it unless they see it.
Yeah. And specifically, like there's specific tags for inside Facebook and for inside YouTube and stuff like that display those different descriptions and stuff.
I think I just need to connect with you later today. Are you available later today?
Yeah, and I also, what I'll do, I'll find where the lesson is. I actually have a lesson on that
Okay.
inside the Dominator Club, and it goes through all the tags. So it would give you the right coding, and then you just plug your stuff in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. All right, who's up next? Any other questions?
No, I don't want to dominate this whole thing. Uh, uh, um, when do you think that you and I can set up my GregorySantana.com email?
I can set that up this afternoon for you if you want.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm free until 6 p.m. this evening.
Okay.
A scheduled time, and I'll be here for you.
All right, I can do it like right after the call. I've got an appointment I got to run out for about 2, and then after that we're headed to the Frankie Valli concert tonight. So
Ah, cool.
yeah, so I can get that set up before I take off for you.
Okay, so what time you want to meet?
Right after the call.
Call at 12:30.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
break?
yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, 12:30 p.m. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do. You can just hop back on here on Zoom after I close out.
All right, thanks.
We'll get you dialed in.
Same link?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just use the same one.
All right. Next, somebody.
All right, we got Mr. McLean on there. He's hiding out these days. There.
I am hiding out,
There you go.
but that's what we do in the valley. When it gets this hot, we hunker down.
Yeah, you're probably in the air-conditioned basement, right? In the bomb shelter.
No, I get I'm Scottish. We do it the cheap way. I just get a big block of ice and lay on that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But anyway, but everything's cool here, and everything's good here. And and I'm fixing to get closer to start marketing soon. I actually had a meeting with a company that does what I want to move into. And they're going to. We had a really great meeting yesterday, and the point is, if I go out and when I go out and get the work and get new clients through use of these materials and through Kartra and proper messaging, they're able to back me up as far as sub-renting and providing services. And so basically, for me to make money now, I don't have to buy equipment or have equipment. I just need to go out and apply everything we're talking about here and actually provide it and go get clients, which just leads me to a different shift in mentality. Anyone can do the job I do, more or less. Like, people are doing the job I do. The real thing that makes the money is the marketing and finding the clients and establishing the relationships and speaking their language. So anyway, so that's the behind the scenes stuff's going well. I just need to get my hands dirty. And Kartra just yesterday shifted from the $1 free trial to the $149 a month. So I need to, again, this is my time very soon to start using it and applying it. So
Yeah. Well, that is so true. That's why you hear it's almost a cliche, the starving artist.
right.
There's a lot of people out there with skills, but there's very few that can actually make it in business, and that really comes down to marketing. You know, if you know how to market if you know how to market anything, it doesn't matter what you do or what your skill set is, you'll always be busy. You know, that's like when I went through schooling on photography, because in the beginning, one of my first businesses where I actually went out and got a shop and operated outside of, just kind of fly-by-night stuff. I was a commercial photographer, and I went to school through schooling to learn all the intricacies of that, because commercial photography is very, very different than point and shoot. Everybody that's got a camera thinks they're a photographer. And, there's a certain amount of truth to that. But when you go up to the commercial grade photography, you are not just taking pictures of what exists. You're creating things on film that don't exist. Like, This is where I got a lot of my marketing knowledge, was working with these companies, because they would hire me. I would sit in the ad agency boardrooms while, these very, very talented people created these ad campaigns. And then they would turn to me and they'd say, can you put that on a piece of film? And my answer always was, absolutely, that's why I'm here. And I was literally making things come to life that didn't exist. A lot of the stuff I photographed and gave them to turn into their ad campaigns, you don't just pick up a camera and take a picture of it. It's all very specialized, special effects and lighting, and sometimes in cases multiple exposures and things that just don't exist in nature. So when I went through that class, I was among 60 students that started. And of the 60, I talked to a couple of the instructors after the fact, like probably years later, 5 or 10 years later, I ran into a couple of them. And they asked me, how I was doing. And I told them I had a thriving business. I had, some of the biggest customers in the world. And they were blown away. They were shocked, because they said of all the students they've ever taught, they didn't have anybody that achieved that level. In fact, of the 60 that I went through, I was the only one that could actually make a living at it. Most of them became gaffers or, assistants or, something like that, but it became a job. I was not out for a job. I was out for an adventure, like always. But that is so true of marketing. It's how you build those relationships, how you open doors. You can be the best in the world at anything you can do, but unless you can channel that in and turn it into a business and make it happen, it doesn't really matter. Hence the starving artist. Some of the greatest artists in the world you've never heard of, nor will you. They're going to die alone, and no one's ever going to know. They're never going to know how good they are. I've got a good friend of mine. He's a very, very talented artist. He does etched glass that's amazing. There's nothing like it I've ever seen. And I've seen just about everything there is to see. Never seen anything like it. But he's got this mental block that will not allow him to go out and make it commercially viable. So it's, it all adds up to that. It's how you take what you've got and spin it into gold, and that's marketing. That's really what we focus on in the ACT program, is how to do that. So anyway, good stuff. Thanks for bringing that up there, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. And just to add one thing to that real quick is that, and I think you and I briefly touched on this in a conversation I had. Is the company is, I do video now, but I want to do full events with staging and projection and lighting. The whole thing from A to Z. And that's what this company does. And they have trucks and an office and a warehouse, to put the trucks. And my point is, in the conversation, when it came up, that, listen, I don't have all those equipment, but I'm going to go out and get clients, and then I can subcontract from you. And they said, oh, that's good. You're going to do the marketing. And here's the point. They said, because that's the one thing we're not doing.
Yeah.
Now, part of the reason, they're busy. Like, they've been at it a while. They have good clients. But the point is, they're not expanding. They've hit their plateau, and they're not marketing. And so during our conversation, what came up is something I think that you said. When I said, I might eventually buy some of this equipment, and you go, well, why would you do that? You can, if you got clients, you can make money off of just subcontracting. The point I'm trying to make is this. It was something in the back of my mind, but they brought it up. Because I said to them, look, I got like an 8-year window. I would like to retire in 8 years. Yeah. And it was in the back of my mind, and then they brought it up. They said, so it's conceivable that, and I've worked with them before, so we're on a good basis already. It's conceivable that at the end of the 8 years, you'd want to sell your client list to us.
Yeah.
And so my point is, it's a slow progression and shifting. I make money off of having a product, off of a material, off of providing a service. But through marketing, the one thing they're not doing, by my going out and getting clients and by acquiring the skills how to market, I will eventually have a client list, and that in and of itself will probably more, extremely valuable
Yeah.
as a product to sell. But the only reason it's a product to sell is because I've put in the time, the energy, the training, made the mistakes of marketing, and that would be the eventual product I could sell someone. So I'm just giving a shout out to the power and the value of marketing. It's not only getting me jobs today, but by really taking it to the next level or several levels up, my ability to market is extremely valuable to someone, because that's what they're not doing, because they're focusing on the nuts and bolts and repairing the trucks and, paying the rent on the warehouse to house them. So anyway, that's that.
Yeah. And, that is a huge pain point for most business owners, because, I talked about the artists, great artists that don't make it. Well, how many businesses do you know, or how many times have you experienced this yourself, of you have a competitor and your product is so much better than the competitor, but they're just kicking your ass in business? And why do you think that is? It's not because they have a better product, not because they have a better price. It's because they're a better marketer, or they've hired a better marketer. That somehow or another, that's what it boils down to. That's what's kicking your butt. It's the marketer, not the product. Nothing else. It all boils down to how well you can market something. I know it just outrages me to see some of these guys selling old SEO stuff that doesn't work anymore. It's questionable whether it ever worked. And they've got all this hype and all this stuff, and they're just absolute bullshit artists. And they're pocketing millions of dollars, taking people's money and just, leading them astray. And that really infuriates me, because all that really boils down to is they're doing more marketing than me. They're more of a marketing company, whereas over all these years, I've been an SEO company. I've been providing quality SEO services to real businesses and not marketing. I've never been in the marketing end of things. So that's, that you're going to find that. You're going to find that at some point you're up against somebody that doesn't have as good a product as you do, but they're selling more than you are. And all that should really do is just inspire you to become a better marketer, or find one and hire one. That's really it. That's all it boils down to.
Hi, John.
Hey, Lewis, how's it going?
Fine. Related to SEO, I'd like to ask you that although you said that all SEO is already sold on the internet, but from my point, a lot of, let's say, future SEO is sold, but is not already implemented. For instance, a lot of people sell AI, mobile first, PWA, that kind of stuff, but most business don't have even implemented that technology, and voice search and that kind of things, and most people don't even know how to implement for those technologies. So, and also Google is selling that stuff. So how do you see SEO maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 years forward? Because I've been doing SEO for 5 years and it doesn't have changed a lot.
Yeah, no, the true core of SEO really hasn't changed much since the beginning. It's always been about providing valuable content. That's what it's been about since day one. It's about, Google indexing and bringing good content to people that are looking for it. So their SEO has been this cat and mouse game of, how do we game that system? How do we get ours up even though it's not as good as some others? And Google's job is to figure out, how to cut through all of that and figure out which content is really good so they can put that content at the top. I mean, that's really the foundation of true SEO. and it's evergreen. That's not ever going to change. So how you do that is all related to the user experience, and Google now can measure that. So it's taken a lot of the old school SEO guys and it's really thrown them under the bus, which I applaud them for that. I think that's probably the best thing they ever did. One thing, like you asked about where I see the future of SEO, I think Google wants to control it, absolutely. And you had mentioned, they're now offering products to help them do that. I think at some point those products are going to become paid, just like their advertising, and it's going to come down to a case of who wants to pay will get to play. And like everything else, that's where it all goes. They start with the free model, and then they go to the paid model, and then they start taking stuff away. Like, I don't know if you remember a little company called Urchin. This company came out with the absolute best reporting software for web. It gave you total analytics. It was the most awesome program I'd ever seen as far as web analytics. And I actually bought the technology for our servers. I had the Urchin software running on all of our servers, and we were supplying that reporting to all of our clients early on. Google actually bought that company. It bought the Urchin company, and that is what became Google Analytics. And Google, what they did was they stripped all the really great stuff out of it. They stripped it down and they gave it away for free. And then they got people hooked on it. Everybody was using it, and then they started stripping it more. They started stripping out the keywords. It used to be you could tell how everyone got to your site. You could tell exactly what keywords that were used, and that's huge information. You could leverage that out. So they stripped it out of the Google Analytics, and they made you take another step to get some of that data back, where you had to go into Webmaster Tools and then connect your Webmaster Tools to your Google Analytics. And they're really kind of just training you that you're going to use their stuff. And like with the mobile, the AMP, and all this other stuff, they're positioning themselves for the future to give you stuff that they're going to tell you, okay, this is how you optimize for your user experience. If you don't have this, you're probably not going to rank. And I believe they're going to probably bring paid stuff into it. Like, I remember I went to them originally and wanted to know, how do I get the Urchin licenses back activated? Because they cut everybody off after they bought that company. And they wanted a huge amount of money to actually license the Urchin software to run on your server. Like, it was tens of thousands of dollars a month. So they just didn't want anyone to have it. So they priced it out. But I always thought that they probably would start charging even for the analytics. But I think rather than charging you to show you what is actually real, I think they're going to charge you for services that will enhance your ability to rank. Like their AMP. What that is, that's just accelerated web hosting. It's a way to accelerate the load time of a page so it doesn't take so long to load. On mobile devices, that's really important, because I don't know if you've ever watched anybody with a mobile phone. They're all over the place. A lot of times they're younger, they're very impatient, and they're not going to wait for 10, 20 seconds for a page to load. If it doesn't load like instantly, they're on to the next thing. It's like the ultimate in ADD. They're just very impatient. So, I think that's probably where it's going to wind up, is just some of those services will become paid, and by paying, you actually get a better ranking out of it. And they're already doing that. Like, if you look at companies, I still optimize a lot of sites for a lot of commercial companies. And the ones that are doing the best by far are the ones that are paying for traffic on top of their SEO. The ones that are just doing SEO and no paid traffic are not doing near as well. And that never used to be the case. And I'll tell you when that shift happened. That shift happened with RankBrain. And I believe this to be true, is RankBrain is identifying how many different places traffic is coming from. You know, if you're getting traffic from other sources, Google feels like they don't want to miss out. You know, if your site's getting a bunch of traffic from a bunch of different sources and Google's not sending you traffic, they feel left out. They feel like, oh man, we should be sending our traffic to that site. Look at all the traffic that site's getting. That's a popular site. You know, that's your new metrics for popularity. It's not just the link building. The link building gives them an idea that it might be popular, but the traffic proves it. So paid traffic, like let's say you're doing pay-per-click and you're doing Facebook traffic and you're getting, you know, direct, you're doing email, you're getting traffic outside of Google's world. They're going to notice that. And they're not going to want someone to take advantage of them and have something they don't have, because that could destroy their reputation. Think about it. If their reputation got out, like people are finding good content and it wasn't found through Google, or it wasn't even available through Google, what do you think that would do to their reputation? They're not going to have that, because then they're going to lose advertisers. It's a power struggle for the advertising dollar. So that's kind of the world that we live in as far as SEO now. That's where it's turned. But if you think about the basic principle, the basic premise of SEO, it's taking somebody that's looking for something and matching them up with it. It's providing the best quality content. So it really hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is our ability as an SEO industry to manipulate it to our favor and abuse it. I mean, how many people are optimizing for crap? Like let's roll the clock back 15 years ago. There was people that was optimizing absolute garbage for their own benefit, just so they could make a buck. They did not care about the user experience. They didn't care about anything other than they were making money. And they would do anything to do that. And that did not add up to a good user experience. In fact, there was a time when you went on to the search engines and all you could find was crap. I mean, these people had literally ruined it. They had absolutely ruined it. I remember a time I was looking for a car part, a very specific car part to fix my car. And I went through pages and pages of listings with nothing but crap, nothing but arbitrage. People, sending you to all these different places to try and show banners that they were going to get paid for if you clicked on them. So, like when I said I applaud Google for doing what they've done, I really do. I mean, they have cleaned this up. They've gotten rid of all that garbage. And their RankBrain was a huge step in the right direction, because everything else is a very gameable system. If you're talking about just code, that's extremely gameable. We had a heyday in SEO in the beginning when that's all we had to do was figure out what you had to do to manipulate the code and you were on top. It was such an easy game. And again, it was such an abused game. There was several times where the search engines just dumped their entire listings. They dumped their entire database to start over because it had gotten so corrupt. I know Alta Vista did that twice. They didn't have a better way. They just had to dump the junk and start over. So, like I said, I absolutely applaud Google for figuring out how to get rid of all that garbage. So. All right, we're just about to wrap up here. Anything else? Anybody got any last minute stuff you want to fire out before we close up for today?
Yeah, John, so you just want me to stay on then? We can go straight to it?
Yeah, actually, give me about 15 minutes and then hop back in.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so another thing too, I am going to be out of town next week, so we probably will not have a call, and we'll have the call on the following week. So let me just look at the calendar here. Yeah, I'm going to be gone on the 19th. So our next call will be on the 26th. So that'll be week after next. If you guys have any questions, if you run into any problems or trouble or anything, just go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you with the answers you need. All right. So have a great time. Have a great summer. I know a lot of you guys are out on vacation, so it's kind of light anyway. So.
24. Are you still doing Marina Del Rey, July 24, 6 p.m.?
I gotta look. I didn't really promote that one, so I gotta take a look and see how many people signed up, if any, because I
did.
I totally forgot to even run the ad on that one.
A big star. Monica with me also to introduce you to her.
Okay. Well, what I might do is I might redo the location of it.
Okay.
Instead of Marina Del Rey, I might do it in Huntington Beach.
That works for me.
So, all right. Well, I will let you know, and we will go from there. So, you guys have a great week and enjoy the summer, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.